Hello everyone and welcome to the program. I'm Sean Wakimale. As we speak, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari is in New York in the United States for the 71st United Nations General Assembly. He is one of the 5 speakers expected to address the plenary session. The president will speak on the plight of over 9 million people resident in the Lake Chad Basin. He may also sign the Paris Agreement on climate change while attending a series of high-level meetings, including one with the British permanent representative to the United Nations. Some of those on the president's entourage include the National Security Advisor Major General Babagana Mungunu and the Minister of Interior General Abdurrahman Dambazao. Others are the Minister of Solid Minerals Dr. Kade Fayemi, the Environment Minister Amina Mohammed, and the Senior Special Assistant to the President Diaspora Matters Abike Dabiri Erewa. But back home now. There are growing concerns over strategies being adopted by the government to get the economy out of recession. These concerns will extend to the legislative arm of government as Nigerians anticipate the resumption of the National Assembly after weeks of recess. On May the 29th, 2015, the president took the oath of office amidst cheers from party members and the entire world. Little did many know that the challenges ahead could be this overwhelming. Some will say the APC government was not prepared for governance, but for the president and his team, the narrative is totally different. The president has been speaking on the sort of rot they met when they got into government.
I want Nigerians to realize that what this government inherits after 16 years of PDP and 8 consecutive governments, there was no savings. No infrastructure is done, no power, no rail, no road, no security. This is what the other party left for Nigerians. And let them see what we have done from Boko Haram to what we are trying to do now with the militants. And we have identified these problems, 3 of them. Number 1, security. You have to secure a country to efficiently manage it. Number 2, economy, especially jobs for youth. Number 3, fighting corruption, which is continuous. Now the youth, those that have land, okay, Central Bank and Ministry of Agriculture have done something about it. Those that don't have land and they have been to the university, they are graduates, there is an arrangement made by them under a ministerial committee under the vice president. So really, we have plans, we know what to do, we are doing our best, and we want Nigerians to do their best too.
That's the President Muhammadu Buhari reacting to what he said that his government has met on the ground. What the People's Democratic Party reacted to that swiftly. They said, and I quote now, "What Nigerians want from this administration are results, simple, and not resorting to throwing tantrums on the PDP at every given opportunity." End of quote. Well, the PDP rather concluded that the earlier the president and his team quits, the better for the country, saying, I quote now, "There is no better time than now to make this call for the president to return the country to how he met it in 2015 and quit, or right away quit for a more experienced team to take over." End of quote. The APC too responded. The Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, said, and I quote, "We are on a rescue mission to resuscitate Nigeria after the PDP left it in a coma, and the noise from the same PDP seems designed to sabotage the rescue efforts, but we are not deterred." End of quote. In all of this back and forth is the reality of a troubled economy, regardless of the divided opinions. One undisputable fact is that Nigeria's economy needs to be rescued from this recession, and quickly too. The president has met with finance experts, and a retreat was held with members of his cabinet. It is expected that resolutions reached will birth the desired result? Well, let's get some perspectives on the matter, shall we? Joining me to discuss this is a former NADECO member and the leader of the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Group, Afenifere Renewal Group, Chief Wale Osun. Many thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
It baffles everyone, isn't it? Or better put, it troubles everyone, the state of the Nigerian economy. The president said the PDP left a bad government or the nation in a bad state. What are your views?
Well, for all Nigerians, we would have noticed that it is not even a recent matter, because it is not recent that all our industrial bases are being converted to religious houses or event centers. It is not recent that unemployment continues to climb up. Now, these things have been happening cumulatively in the last couple of years. And it had, of course, preceded, maybe starting, in fact, from the government of General Obasanjo in 1999, that you've had a cumulative, over time, now we are talking of over 16 years of economic mismanagement that is on the ground. So to a lot of extent, the president may then be right in insisting that this economy had been in a doldrum. And you talk of a recession when, of course, you've had a negative growth in the GDP in 2 quarters consecutively. Not, I mean, if you have a skip within it, then there can be an issue of defining it as a recession. But 2 quarters consecutively. But I even want to go further and say that Nigeria had been in a depression for quite a long time. Depression, really. Because when you talk of depression, you see, you are talking of something that had run over the years, an economic doldrum that had run over the years. 4 years, 5 years, because you have seen the issue of the unemployment that is rising on a steady basis, had not started just in the last 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So what I'm then arguing is that we call it a recession because we are using just a factor that, okay, if you have a negative GDP in 2 consecutive terms, and the statistics now talk of 2 consecutive terms, and now you say it's a recession. But I want to, in fact, argue that in the last 4 or 5 years, we've been in a depression. Because if you take the most important factor, the question of employment level, increase in unemployment, decrease in investment by the business sector. Now, also, you are talking of a decrease in consumption pattern because people are now talking about inability to meet their basic needs. Consumption, personal consumption is declining. And it's been so for 4 years, 5 years.
So, I mean, a lot of people say, well, we know, Nigeria realize the fact that things have been going bad. Yes. But again, of several months now, well over a year, we are running into a second year of the life of this administration. Yes. And we're still talking about what the past administration has done. Some people will say, that's just pure excuse.
No, well, the issue may be this, that actually the emphasis really now should not be about what had been done by anybody. The emphasis is that this is a problem which we as Nigerians have a responsibility to cure. So really, it is not about now laying these excuses. No, it's not about excuses anymore. But what I'm saying is that the recession, we call it recession, but I want to contend that it's even depression.
You say Nigeria is in depression right now?
Because it has run consistently for the past 5 years,
Economic
6 years.
Experts may argue differently from your standpoint.
They may, but if you look at all the indices, you look at the macroeconomic indicators of unemployment, which continues to increase. You look at personal consumption index, which now declines. You look at investment by business sector, which now declines. Now you look at export, which declines, and import, which increases, which continues to increase. And it's not just a question of two. You are not talking of 2 quarters now. You are talking of something
over the years.
Started over the years.
So the situation is more bleak than what we know.
No, the situation is certainly bleak, and that is why I think the time to even talk about responsibilities, who caused it, is not now. My own thinking, if you ask for my view as a Nigerian, not as a politician, because I also belong to APC, but I would say that at this moment, the situation is so bleak that we should have no time at all to respond to whatever PDP is talking, to even make allegations anymore. But to look at the economy, what are the issues here? Do you need to reflate? And how do you go about doing so?
If you look at it, the antecedent of President Muhammadu Buhari, yes. One will wonder, he's been a head of state about 30 years or more in Nigeria, and one will be as a military head of state, and one will wonder right now, does it look like someone who has that capability to be able to take Nigeria out of this doldrum?
Now, when you talk of the doldrum, you see there are many components to solving an economic problem. Now, the president has focused on a significant aspect of it, talking about corruption. Now, corruption here, what you are talking is about managing resources in an efficient manner. And where it is not efficient, corruption can be intended, it can be unintended. And the president has focused on corruption, which is to say that, well, if the resources go to the intended projects, sectors, then you can jumpstart the economy. So the first thing is that the president is, I want to believe that it's right to have been fixated on the issue of corruption.
Some people will say,
yes,
fix the economy first and fight corruption.
No.
The economy is at such a state. It's like having fire on the roof, and you are doing some activities in the house.
No,
some people will say, fix the fire on the roof first.
No, they will go together. I have no objection at all to the fixation, really, to focusing on corruption. But the other aspect is that for now, what you can talk of maybe is a missing link in the concept. Nigeria had always deceived itself, and it's all of us, that what economic model should we really have or pursue? Do we intend to uphold a mixed economy, or do we intend to uphold the so-called global economy, which is capital-driven?
But are those clear?
No, so what I'm saying is that what we need now, is that the president, in the same way that is fixated on corruption, should also have come back to say, well, wait a minute, our economy can no longer be driven only by the global concepts of free market, which is what we are doing now. And his aides must be coming out so heavily on the side of a mixed economy. And when I say mixed economy...
Just a moment, Chief Oshun, because we need to take a breather now. And when we return, Chief Wale Oshun is still with me. We'll be looking at what path should the government take as the people of Nigeria expect so much from him. And they will be asking the question, in this recession, which way out? That's our focus. Join us again.